Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show, presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Warm welcome and happy Saturday to you guys. It is the What's Up Bro podcast show brought to you by J&J Production Studios, your one true home for entertainment. Of course, as always, I am Sam Crow. Big Hoss, unfortunately, is passing along his well wishes. He's feeling a bit better, but he's not 100%, so he's still in the sick bay. He's recuperating tonight. He's sorry he missed us, and he passes on his love to all you guys. But we do want him to feel better. We don't want him to be ill and pushing himself. We've all been there at some point in time. I was there not long ago. So, we don't want to overtax. But so he'll be back next weekend for sure when we come back live. But the show does go on. I am here and looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Let's get our fire going right away. Let's just get things rolling right off the bat here. Let's see. There we go. May as well just dive in here. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal weekend. It's been kind of nice. I mean, still a lot of things happening, but I hope you guys are enjoying whatever it is you are choosing to do, and whatever that may be. Hopefully it's relaxing, spending time with family or friends. Maybe you're having a sleepover, birthday party. Maybe you're having a Halloween party early. I'm not sure. Either way, I hope you're really just enjoying yourselves, and hopefully you're enjoying listening to the show tonight. We're glad to be in your homes and spending some time with you guys. Got a great one for you tonight. We're going to chat about getting into our Halloween theme because we are getting very close, believe it or not. We are nearly just about halfway through the month of October, so that means halfway to Halloween. Gee whiz. And I got to say, I was driving today listening to the radio, and, I know it's a thing every year, but sure enough, lo and behold, they're already talking about it. Christmas is already starting to be talked about and beginning to be the forefront. People are talking about already going shopping, and some stores already are getting their Christmas stuff out already. It's incredible, but again, not terribly shocking, just because we always have that chance to start early. Everybody likes to get good deals and set up and everything, so makes sense. It's just another sign that things are really rolling through. But tonight we're going to have our Halloween theme, of course. We have our great songs. I love these tracks. Again, I'm not really big always all the time on that kind of sort of theme background there, but I don't know. It kind of adds something nice to it. It really fits us, and we try to do our themes every week, as you guys know, if you've been a long-time listener especially. So it just kind of adds something nice to that. But we're going to talk about some very much, and I put this in the description if you guys didn't see that from the video, or from the title for the episode too, or in the description of the episode. We're going to talk about something that I think we might have shared this last Halloween, if my memory serves, but if not, we're definitely going to do it here, and that is we're going to explore and look up the most haunted places in the United States. There's quite a few, and I really get into this because it's neat to kind of look at the history of it, because a lot of these places are old, they've been around forever. You guys will love it if you are into that vintage Victorian-style architecture kind of thing. Some of these places include old houses, old buildings. It's going to be incredible. We're going to explore all that and more tonight. I thought that would be fun. So, of course, before we dive in, and actually we might shake things up a little bit here, we're going to do some announcements. Then we actually might take a commercial break early just to kind of get some time. I really want to get some things pulled up here so that we can really dive in and devote time to doing this, because we got a lot of ground to cover. And, of course, as you guys know, we're a short amount of time. So we try to keep it as limited as possible just to not drown on forever. So that's what we're going to work on here tonight. Hope you guys enjoy that. If you want to pull up on your phones, your tablets, your computer, laptop, whatever, and do some research yourself, please, by all means, chat with me during the show. Let me know if there's some favorites that you hear that you are close to you, too, you want to check out. We can give you more details as well. Let us know, too. A lot of these are like haunted attractions kind of a thing. So if this piques your interest, please share. Love to hear from you guys. We'll do that. But let's jump in. Just a couple quick announcements. We did quite a few last night. I just want to reiterate some. We'll start with this one. Actually, a couple things. Let's start with some guest announcements. So We are going to work to have a special another appearance. We're hoping to get Ramsey Veach back, our good friend at Impulse Martial Arts, where we train. You're going to have him come back and do another episode into the martial arts world. Stay tuned for that. We're still working on coordinating a schedule for that. We also have a reach out to our good friend Miranda Fear the Maverick, a good UFC fighter. She has been on the show multiple times so far. We are hoping to get her on at least for one more appearance to close out the year. I know she had said that her schedule is pretty busy, but she will be in touch with us, so we'll look forward to that. A couple other guests we have on the hook that we're trying to bring in too, so we'll give you guys posted there. But we want to make this a very monumental end of the year. We only have a couple months left. 2023 has been a huge year for us, and again, maybe to some it might not seem that way, but I will say for me, and I know Big Hoss shared this and some of the others, it's been very satisfying. We did some more things this year that we could have never imagined, and that's including upgrades. Just another announcement in there for you guys. We're working on the website. We're trying to get that developed, and again, that will be out either probably end of this year or sometime next year. We want to do it right. We don't want to rush it. We want to make sure that it's done to perfection. You guys deserve that too. We want to. This is probably the cream and the creme de la creme of our upgrades so far. We are working on a couple others that we will have as well, but this really is probably the big one for us, and we want to take our time with it and make sure that we have it as much as we want it, and make sure that we are very methodical with it and no rush to do it. So we advertise it, and we know we want to get it out there, but you guys know we are sticklers for that. Everything we put into when we did all of our upgrades, from our logo designs and background images and voiceovers, even to pick the certain actors that we've had to do that, we are very particular and want only the best. So having that for the website is no different. We have found that, obviously we found the web designer that we're hoping to go with, and we just have to get over details, go over all that stuff, and then work on production of it. And once it's going to be out, we can't wait. So we're still trying to schedule some time to do that, but we'll keep you guys posted there as well. So just a little sidebar in there. But in speaking of having Miranda back on the show, we mentioned this last night, we're going to mention it again tonight, just going to say this real brief. We have the autograph photo that we got from Miranda that we want to auction off or give away, probably give away as a contest in that regard. We're going to try to do that during the Christmas holiday season, which is coming up very soon. So if you haven't had a chance to enter or get a submission in yet, you guys know what to do. If you don't, let me recap real quickly. We will recirculate the autograph photo. We'll put it out there on our social media accounts, on YouTube, all that sort of stuff. And if you see it, you can just leave a comment, like on it, repost it, whatever it is. Just make sure we know how to understand who it is and who you are. Usually, like on social media, we can tell from profiles if people comment or like it, which works well too. But just so we can count you in as a contestant for the drawing, we want to try to have a few more entries before we do this. Thank you so much to the people that have entered so far. We have you marked down. So we will recycle that through. And again, even if you are one of those, if you want to go ahead and like and comment or repost, whatever, you can do that too, just to kind of refresh us too. But that's going to be your best way to do that. And we are going to run that again, probably right around Halloween. We're going to post that, and then we'll post it again right after Thanksgiving, probably the end of the month, right before we get into December, which will be right around really your last chance to enter that before we close off giveaway for that. We're going to try to run this as long as possible. Ideally, we want to close it off at the end of November, but we might stretch it in a couple weeks, December, depending on schedules and things like that. We want to give everybody and all you guys a chance to do so. So share with your family and friends. Anybody could win. It's a great opportunity, a great keepsake. We love having that. It was nice of Miranda to do that. So if you guys want that, please make sure you jump in on that as well. Let's see. What else do we have there? Oh, yes. And, of course, now it's not definitive. We may have another episode coming out tomorrow. Not sure 100%. We are going to be doing another review show episode. I'll just give you a quick highlight mention. We're going to be reviewing the new reboot. Technically it is, but it's bringing back an old classic. Dr. Fraser Crane is back in the building, and he is listening. Seattle's favorite psychiatrist, back in his root native Boston, where the series continues. The third act of Frasier, having started in Cheers, and then, of course, the original reboot of Frasier back in the early 90s, up to the early 2000s. And Frasier is back at it again. I don't want to spoil too much. We'll get into that when we do the review show, especially if any of you guys haven't seen it yet. Don't check that out until you watch the episodes. Available now on Paramount+. Check it out. Same great vibe, different cast of characters. It's not quite the same, but with Kelsey Grammer at the helm of the ship there as Frasier, What more could you want? Can't go wrong there. So check it out if you haven't already. We'll get into more details about that on the next episode of the review show. Stay tuned for that. Potentially out maybe tomorrow, maybe later this week. We'll see. It'll be out soon. We are still working on scheduling for episodes for the podcast shows that we have. So we'll make sure to give you guys updates on that as they come along. We are working diligently to try and make sure that we have a regular schedule. Again, things just being what they are, being crazy busy. It is difficult sometimes to get things going there, but we have a plan for that, and we're working toward that, just so you guys know, are posted there. So make sure you follow us on social media. If you have not been already, check it out. Linktree.com/J_J Production Studios. All the podcast streaming services where our episodes can be found, including your favorites, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and more. And, of course, social media, Facebook, Twitter X, I call that, because it's still Twitter domain. So Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, you can find it. It's there, as well as some other streaming services, too. So check it out. We'd love to have you guys there. Give us a shout-out. We'll give you a shout back. We do monitor our own pages, so we are there. So if you want a shout-out, it will be from us. Guaranteed 110% authenticity. There you go. I think that is everything. Again, if we remember anything else important, we'll share that at some point. But let's move forward here. We are going to take a commercial break here, just briefly, just so I can prep a little bit and get some information pulled up so we can look around and see what we got. And then we'll dive right in. We'll do our normal time. If I need extra time, maybe we'll run an extra song or two. I think I have a couple extra spares. Not sure. Those are our sound effects. So make sure I don't play those. That's actually fun. I was thinking about doing that. I might do that closer to Halloween, see if we can get some more Halloween-themed sound effects. But we do have that. Let me just make sure I set this in the right spot, because I had an off night last night. If you guys are listening, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to try to do that again if I can help it. Let's see. We played... We played that one. I think we played that one. Yeah, so we have... Yep. I think that's the right one there. Yeah, okay, perfect. All right. So stick around, you guys. Stay tuned. Perfect chance. Get yourselves comfortable. Get your snacks ready. Get a drink. Be ready to go. We're going to have more here coming up. We are going to take a tour across haunted America to find some of the most spookiest and scariest places. I will share this too. I'm a big fan of cemeteries. I love to go out and look at old rustic cemeteries. Not for ghosts or anything, but I don't know. There's just something about that Victorian style again. It just looks really neat. I'm sure there's going to be some graveyards in this case too. I feel like I saw that on a list before. So we're going to explore that, take a virtual tour of a haunted USA, especially if you're not from this country. If you are living in a foreign country, you'll love this too, I'm sure. You might have your own historical lore there in your own country. If you do, share with us. We'd love to hear that. But we're going to travel here in the grand old country here, our home of America. Plenty of places, plenty of spooks. Some you may have heard of, maybe some you haven't. Let's explore those when we come back. Stay tuned for more as we dive in to our spook-tacular season that we've been doing. We are going to see what we can find on this virtual tour when we come back. I just want to make sure I keep messing myself up here. Hang on. There it is. All right. Stay tuned. Let's get our fire pause. We'll get the ambiance going when we come back. Let's pause that. There we go. And we will dive right in. Plenty more to go here at the show. We are just getting fired up. It is Halloween-themed season. Spooktacular as it is. Scary. Night full of frights. What more could you ask for? You never know what could happen. And it is the bewitching hour. So come on back. Let's dive in. And let's see what kind of surprises we can find. And maybe even scare ourselves. Maybe even scare ourselves silly. We'll see. Woohoo! Stay tuned. Don't go away, you guys. We'll be right back for more right after this. Oh, hang on. I totally messed up myself again. Hold on a second here. It's a problem when you have too many tracks. I'm going to try that again. That was a really great segue out of here, but I want to do it again. Here it is. Let me do it that way. There we go. All right, take 2 for that. You never know what surprises are going to be out there. Stay tuned for a night full of frights and excitement when we return. We'll see you guys shortly. Don't go away. Stick around.
Hey audio fans, are you looking for fun and excitement? Have you been searching for that special show? You know, the one complete package you want in a podcast? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show and experience what true entertainment is all about. Stay tuned and don't miss the action. Available on your favorite streaming services, including YouTube. Thank you for all your support. And as always, we'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. break time is over. We're so glad you stayed tuned. Now back to the action as the show is set to resume.
All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Gave you an extra special treat, an extra song for a commercial break, just to give me a chance to finish up some things here. Busy things happening in the studio. Let's get our fire going here. I apologize, some glitches there. Sometimes can't be avoided. We try our best to eliminate those, but technology, what are you going to do, right? If you guys are techno nerds and you understand that, you totally get where we're coming from. So all kinds of issue, but we make the most of it. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show. It's Saturday night. Our spook-tacular season is underway, and tonight we're going to take a tour through some of the most haunted places in the U.S. So this is an article finding here. I was trying to find some information. Looks like this was published on October 5th, 2023, so just this year. And we'll read through this. I know some of these, I was looking through it, I found a lot of these, and I know some of these, but some of them actually didn't know, so it's going to be kind of fun for me too. But some I was actually kind of really surprised even. You guys might be as well. So let's see what this is all about. This is some excerpts from this. This was written by Caitlin Morton and Matt Ortile. And I think it's really neat. Just going to cover a little bit of this and read over some of the locations and some of the lore that's based off of that too, and what makes them so haunted. So let's get ready. Turn your lights off, crank up your headset, get your earbuds in. Let's make this a lot of fun, and let's see what kind of things we learn if we get any kind of frights there. And if it's near you, definitely check this out. I know a couple that I think are near me. I am going to check out for sure. I know I've been to at least one of these actually, so I'll explain that when we get there. But let's see what we can find on our spook-tacular spooky tour. So this is an excerpt. This is kind of the status for this based on this that we have here. We know the United States is the land of spacious skies and amber waves of grain, but it's also the land of ghosts. In the most haunted places in America, lingering spirits roam through the halls of hotels, abandoned asylums, Broadway theaters, and even a city zoo. That's the one that surprised me. If you want to get up close and personal with the paranormal, many of these sites offer guided tours through the spookiest of spaces, as well as overnight stays in the most haunted rooms in some of these hotels. That's one way to capitalize on spirits stuck on our plane of existence, at least. If ghosts aren't your go-to travel buddies, fear not. Many of the below sites and the destinations where they are found offer enough culture, history, architectural wonders, and beautiful scenery to keep you firmly planted in this realm. Just be sure not to provoke the spirits as you go about your journeys. Below, 32 of the most haunted places in America. Happy travels. So, one of them I don't think is on here is, there's a couple actually in Pennsylvania, one I will share I've been to before. The Hotel Pennsylvania, which is in Bethlehem. And one of the rooms, I think it's room 309 or 209, is supposed to be haunted there. I've always said I wanted to actually stay there just to kind of see for myself. So, that could be on the list. I don't know if I'll do that this year, maybe next year, but if you guys are nearby and want to check it out, go book a stay there and let me know what happens. If you survive, of course. So, vote of confidence there, I know. All right, so let's jump in here. And again, some of these are familiar. I've heard of some of these, some of them not. I'm curious to see what the lore is and going over details of this. So the first one on this list is in Bodie, California. In the 1870s and 1880s, Bodie boomed when gold was found in the hills surrounding Mono Lake. At one point, it was home to 10,000 people. It's now a state historic park, with some parts of the town preserved in a state of arrested decay, quote-unquote. Think tables with place settings and shops eerily stocked with supplies. I guess you could say kind of like the Titanic if you've ever seen that movie or seen clips or on the historical document channel or like PBS. It's not surprising that there are many reports of supernatural activity here, including ghost sightings and music playing from shuttered bars. There is also a legend that any visitor who takes anything from Bodie, even a rock, will be cursed with bad luck and health problems upon leaving. Well, let's certainly say I won't be doing that if I visit Bodie, California. So, and based on the photo here, it looks like your proverbial ghost town, basically. That's a lot of lore. There's obviously fun places for that. So, that's an interesting one. The next one on this list I really like too, and this goes into my thing I shared before the commercial break. Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, Georgia. Those of you who remember the 90s will recognize the cemetery as the one featured in the novel Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I've never read that. I know it sounds familiar, but like the book, the Savannah Cemetery itself has a southern Gothic atmosphere, with Spanish moss giving shade to time-worn Victorian monuments. There are many notable figures buried here, like singer Johnny Mercer and poet Conrad Aiken, but it's Gracie Watson who most deserves a visit. Having died at just 6 years old, her grave is marked by a life-size marble statue with her hand resting on a tree stump, symbolizing her life cut short. Many visitors place toys at her grave when they visit, and some have reported seeing the ghost of Gracie near the site. Other spooky accounts of the Bonaventure include inexplicable sounds like crying babies and barking dogs, and statues suddenly smiling as people approach them. Now, this is also lore I've heard in a lot of different cemeteries too. It seems like a common running theme. You guys probably heard that too. If you're scarifites and you are interested in this kind of stuff, you might have heard of that too. So some of these might sound familiar and are close, but some do have their own take to it too. So we'll see how this goes. Next, we take a tour. I'm probably going to butcher this. Cahawaba, Alabama. Alabama's first capital and famous ghost town takes its name from the state's longest river. Situated at the confluence of the Cahaba and the Alabama. It was abandoned after the Civil War, and its empty buildings, slave burial ground, and eerie cemeteries are now popular settings for ghost tours and stories of paranormal activity. The most famous tale is that of a luminous floating orb appearing in the former garden maze of Colonel C.C. Pegasus' house shortly after the colonel had been killed in battle. The phenomenon became known as Pegasus' ghost, and I have heard of that legend, and still attracts curious visitors to the site today. Interesting. I'm going to have to plan some trips. This sounds like a lot of fun for this one. Next on our journey, we're still staying down south. Calcasieu Courthouse, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Toni Jo Henry was a former sex worker who reached national levels of infamy when she killed a man in cold blood in 1940. It took 3 trials for a jury to convict the quote-unquote charming Toni Jo, but she eventually became the first and only woman in Louisiana to be executed in the electric chair. However, her spirit is said to have remained in the courthouse, where workers can feel her presence and even smell her burning hair. Many claim she meddles with everyday life at the courthouse to make life more difficult for the employees, locking doors and fiddling with office equipment. Now, I believe Louisiana was one of those states where the electric chair, the death penalty, was still prevalent. Yeah, prevalent, that's the word. Not sure. I think that might still be the case today. There's only very couple states that actually uphold that. So that's an interesting one. I'll have to definitely read some more research into that. I'm going to take this and kind of go further with it, but just kind of give you guys some ideas and check it out for yourselves. If you find anything interesting, shoot us up an email or hit us up on social media. I'd love to hear what you guys find. Still remaining down south, the next place on this list, Crescent Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I'm curious to hear the story with this one. Since its construction in 1886, the Crescent Hotel has served several purposes: luxury resort, conservatory for young women, junior college. But the strangest mark on its history came in 1937 when it got a new owner, Norman G. Baker. Baker was a millionaire inventor who decided to pose as a doctor despite having no medical training, naturally, and turned the hotel into a hospital that could, quote-unquote, cure cancer. He was eventually exposed and run out of town, though reports say that his spirit found its way back to the site and gained some otherworldly company too. The now operating Crescent Hotel is said to be haunted by at least 8 ghosts, ranging from a 5-year-old girl to a bearded man wearing Victorian clothing. Interesting. I was about to say that doesn't sound too scary, but that took it to a whole other level. And yet we still remain down south. I think a lot of these actually do take place down south, so I can just dispense with that. But let's see what we got. Yeah, we're going to move up north pretty soon. Here we go. Next on our next stop of our virtual haunted tour, Dock Street Theater, Charleston, South Carolina. One of the oldest theaters in America, this site in downtown Charleston has racked up a lot of tumult and history over the years. After a fire burned down the original theater, the Planters Inn was built on the spot. It was converted back to a theater in the 1930s. The most flamboyant ghost here is Nettie Dickerson, who, legend has it, was struck by lightning while standing on the balcony of the hotel. Yikes, what bad luck there for Nettie, huh? Her shadow has been reported gliding along the second floor of the theater, dressed in a red gown. Also in otherworldly attendance, Junius Brutus Booth, a renowned 19th century actor, and the father of Lincoln assassin John Wilkes Booth, I had a feeling there was a correlation there, who used to frequent the inn. Interesting. Next, we have the Driscoll, Austin, Texas. The Driscoll is a majestic Romanesque hotel with modern rooms and an iconic brick facade, drawing European tourists and wedding parties since 1886. It's a true Austin landmark, and according to some, a true hotspot for ghosts. Travelers have noted eerily abnormal sounds through its ornate corridors, as well as phantom sightings of the hotel's namesake, Jessie Driscoll. I have heard that name, whose portrait still hangs in the lobby. They say Driscoll never recovered from the heartbreak of losing his hotel in a high-stakes poker game. I do remember this story. And honestly, we get it. This spot would be a hard one to say goodbye to. I do recall that, so that's interesting there, too. Let's see. Now we head up north, closer to the area where I can check out. Now, I've heard of this site. This is very famous, and some of you probably have as well. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The castle-like Eastern State Penitentiary took solitary confinement to new levels when it was built in 1829. Prisoners lived alone, exercised alone, and ate alone. When an inmate left his cell, a guard would cover his head with a hood so he couldn't see or be seen. The prison had to abandon its solitary system due to overcrowding from 1913 until it closed in 1970. Although the forms of punishment did not get any less severe, chaining an inmate's tongue to his wrist is one example. Interesting. The site, one of the most haunted places in America, now welcomes thousands of visitors every year, both for its museum and annual Halloween celebrations, which features 15 haunted attractions within the prison walls. Reported paranormal happenings have included disembodied laughter, I did read that right, shadowy figures, and pacing footsteps. Naturally, it is a jail, probably inmates still hanging around there, so where else would they go, of course? And it's interesting to note, too, a lot of times in jails and prisons, inmates, when they die, are buried in a prison cemetery, so it would make sense, according to lore, that the spirits would still be nearby. So there you have that. Moving a little bit further north, Emily's Bridge, Stowe, Vermont. I have been to Vermont. It's actually nice up there. If you are living up in Vermont, you know what I'm talking about. It's awesome. It's great, and I'd love to visit there again, hopefully soon. New England is known for its lovely covered bridges, but some are more likely to elicit dread than delight. Take Emily's Bridge in Stowe, for example, a 50-foot-long bridge that is said to be the site of a young woman's death by suicide in the mid-1800s. According to legend, the woman, Emily, was supposed to meet her lover at the bridge to elope, but ended up hanging herself from the rafters when he never showed up. Oh, well, I suppose it makes sense. Today, Emily's ghost is said to maliciously haunt the site, clawing at passing cars, and even scratching the backs of pedestrians until they bleed. There are slightly less menacing spooks as well, like images of a white apparition and strange voices and footsteps coming from the tunnel. That's interesting. Again, I was going to say not super scary, but... Now, this next one is one I've been here. I'm looking forward to going back just because I'm also a reenactor too, but I love this, and I've heard the legends here. I'm going to share a couple with you if it's not mentioned here, but... Gettysburg Battlefield, Pennsylvania, highlight site of the Civil War at that time period. The Battle of Gettysburg was one of the bloodiest in American history, with somewhere around 50,000 young men dying in the three-day conflict. Many of the soldiers never received a proper burial after their untimely deaths, and many believe the souls of these men now wander the battlefield to look for their weapons and comrades. So not much there. I will tell you I have heard stories too. I've read some documentaries and books about this. There are some legends that say if you go down, especially during the anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, it has been reported by visitors as well as citizens that live in Gettysburg. It's said that you can actually hear the battle sequences. You can hear cannon, artillery fire, gunshot, musket shots, all that sort of stuff. Now, again, I've not been there. I'd like to go. I would like to go and stay a night just to kind of hear that for myself. But that's another big thing that's been talked about that goes around there, so we'll have to see. But interesting to note, nevertheless. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm doing a couple things here, and I closed out my... there it is. Here's one that's interesting. I didn't actually know this was considered a haunting spot, but I want to learn why. Honolulu International Airport, Hawaii. Again, Hawaii is on the bucket list. I'm hoping to get there, so we'll see. Let me see how many we have to go. I think we're quite a ways away here yet, right? Yeah, we'll do a couple more, then we're going to take a short pause. But let's see. And I just lost my place. Whenever I do that... Unfortunately, this is not noted in the article. It's not numbered, so we're going to have to kind of play it by ear. But anyway, If flight delays and $13 sandwiches aren't enough to make you fear airports, that's enough for me. Honolulu's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, also called Honolulu International Airport, makes it easy, has an extra feature to strike fear in even the most intrepid of travelers, a resident ghost, dubbed the Lady in Waiting. Oh, wow. The apparition is a blonde woman in a white dress who shows up in off-limits areas of the airport. According to legend, the woman fell in love with a man who promised to marry her, while she was still alive, of course. Well, naturally. But then he hopped on an international flight and abandoned her at the gate. Ooh, that never ends well. Her ghost is still waiting for him to return. People have reported other strange occurrences as well, like toilet paper rolls that unravel on their own and toilets that flush by themselves. Although when it comes to airport bathrooms, we've seen a lot scarier. That's true. And anymore nowadays, there's self-flushing toilets, so I guess that kind of shoots that theory out of the water. But you never know. Let's see. It looks like we're heading west here now. Let's do 1, 2... Oh, we're going to bounce back and forth, looks like. 3, 4... We'll do a couple more, then we'll take a shot. Oh, I know this one. This is going to be an interesting one. I've heard this. I've seen this movie, too. But anyway, let's not get out of rhythm here. Let's stay on track. Next, we head to the Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona. Flagstaff's Hotel Monte Vista has its fair share of paranormal guests who have truly overstayed their welcome, including a long-term boarder who had a habit of hanging raw meat from the chandelier in room 210. 2 women who were also thrown from the 3rd floor and allegedly now attempt to asphyxiate male guests in their sleep. Okay, I won't be staying there. There are also reports of an infant whose disturbing cries have sent staff members running upstairs from the basement. Actor John Wayne even claims to have had a paranormal encounter here. Interesting. I guess if you guys are ambitious enough and brave enough, go for it. Let me know how it works out for you, because I don't know if that might be too scary for me. House of Seven Gables, Salem, Massachusetts. We come back east here. No, this house did not steal its name from the classic novel. In fact, it inspired the novel. Interesting. I didn't even know there was a novel, but okay. Aside from being the site of those famous witch trials, of course, Salem witch trials, Salem also happens to be the birthplace of Nathaniel Hawthorne, who used the 17th century house as inspiration for his famous 1851 novel, The House of the Seven Gables. Aside from the beautiful yet spooky facade, the house is surrounded by tales of paranormal activity and ghost sightings, all based on personal experiences of staff. Interesting. Here's an interesting one. Lincoln Park Zoo, Chicago, Illinois. So we move a little bit into the Midwest, sort of. Lions and tigers and ghosts? As it turns out, one of Chicago's most popular attractions is also one of its most haunted. Interesting. With much more than just chimpanzees roaming the grounds. From the 1840s to 50s, the heart of Lincoln Park served as the city cemetery, housing some 35,000 bodies. Okay, well that's always a good thing to build over a cemetery. The cemetery was eventually moved due to its proximity to the city's water supply, and most of the bodies, but not all of them, were moved along with it. Of course not. If you've ever seen a horror movie, you know that messing with the burial grounds is the easiest way to get haunted. As I just said, there you go. And the Lincoln Park Zoo is no exception. As if walking above several thousand corpses isn't creepy enough. That's enough for me. I don't know if I'm going to be planning a trip here. Famed parapsychologist Ursula Bielski once called the area, in its current state, without a doubt the most active site I've investigated, and people have reported seeing ghosts there since it opened 150 years ago. That is interesting, and I can cross the Lincoln Park Zoo off of my guest list, unless I go during the day. I won't be going at night, that's for sure. Back towards Massachusetts, Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast, Fall River, Massachusetts. You probably have heard this story. This is a very classic one of the first murder mysteries in America, but let's take a walk through. Without a doubt, the most famous haunted bed and breakfast in New England is the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River. For those unfamiliar with the story, or the macabre jump rope rhyme, police accused Borden of brutally killing her father and stepmother with a hatchet in 1892. She was acquitted of the murders later that year. At the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast Museum, visitors can tour the house or spend the night, even staying in the room where Abby Borden was killed. Guests and employees have reported all kinds of strange activity in the house, including weeping and footstep sounds, an apparition in Victorian-era clothing wandering the halls, doors opening and closing, and muffled conversations coming from vacant rooms. Now, just for you, your insight there for you guys, I'm a criminal justice major too there. Being acquitted doesn't mean found innocent. It just means there wasn't enough evidence to convict her. So I still believe she probably did it, but they just couldn't pin it to her. So that's what that little insight means there. Staying in New England here, we have the next on this list, the Mark Twain House, Hartford, Connecticut. Mark Twain lived in this Hartford house, and of course you know who Mark Twain is, the famous author. Samuel Clemens, his real name. That was his nom de plume, Mark Twain. Little insight for you guys. Lived in this Hartford house from 1874 to 1891, during which time he wrote both The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, two of his most famous books, naturally. The landmark now serves as a museum that showcases the iconic author's life and work. It's also an excellent place to experience the paranormal. Apparently, as visitors have reported, things like odd noises and a woman in white. Isn't it always? I mean, really, like it's either a woman in white or a woman in red. I don't know what the theme is, and is that something to do with it? Do all these ghosts get together to decide what to wear? I don't know. Are all these women just killed in these sort of garments? I don't know. I've wondered that myself. If you guys have any thoughts on those theories, let me know too, but I'm curious there. But the billiard room is considered the most haunted spot in the house. It is where Twain used to sit and smoke cigars, and some claim they can smell smoke wafting through the air as they pass through. That is interesting. All right, let's see where we are. We'll do a couple more, then we'll take a pause. How many do we have? Ooh, that's a new one. Let's see. Well, let's keep going here. We can take a break near the end here. Let's see. There we go. Still staying not too far away. Masonic Temple, Detroit, Michigan. With its 16 floors, I've never heard of this place, honestly. Over 1,000 rooms and Gothic facade, the Masonic Temple is one of the most imposing additions to Detroit's skyline. According to rumors, there's also more to it than meets the eye, like hidden passageways and staircases. The most famous urban myth associated with the temple, however, is that, of its architect, George D. Mason. Legend has it that Mason went bankrupt funding the construction and then leapt to his death from the roof. You'll be hard-pressed to find facts to back up this tale, but it certainly does help explain reports of a ghost climbing the steps to the roof of the building. Yeah, I guess it kind of would. Let's go out west again here. The Mizpah Hotel, Tonopah, Nevada. The Mizpah Hotel opened in 1907 as one of Nevada's first luxury hotels, complete with solid granite walls and Victorian-era decor, and it was fully restored in 2011. But the swanky hotel has a history as blood-red as its scarlet furnishings, one it proudly embraces. Legend has it that a woman died on the 5th floor and her soul never left the building. The Lady in Red, here we go again, now reportedly makes her presence known by whispering in men's ears and leaving pearls from her broken necklace on guest pillows. Well, isn't that just enough to make your hair stand on the back of your neck? Whew. Okay. Heading back east, Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, Ohio. Again, another prison, which is interesting. Opened in 1896, the Ohio State Reformatory is famous for its Gothic facade and ominous 6-story cell block. But its greatest claim to fame is when it served as the filming location for The Shawshank Redemption. I thought that sounded familiar. Though, to be clear, the prison was shrouded in terror long before Red and Andy holed up there. If you haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption, check it out. It's a good movie. Haven't watched it in a while, but yes, for sure. I won't spoil it. The reformatory closed in 1990 due to overcrowding and inhumane conditions, but not before more than a total of 200 people, including 2 guards, died in the building. Legend says that the ghosts of several former inmates still roam the halls, as well as an old guard who jabs people with his nightstick. Well, that's not too bad, as long as he doesn't kill anybody. Let's take a look here. I'm just trying to see what we have left on this. We're getting towards the end of it. And I want to try to get a few more of these in. Hang on, let's just go down to the bottom. Oh, that's the last. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll do a few more, and then we'll take a short break, and we'll finish these up. We're getting close to the end here, so let me just see if my memory serves me. Oh, we're almost to the end. Actually, let's just finish. We'll finish these. We'll take our break, and then we'll do some more final thoughts for the night. That's actually fair enough. Perfect. All right, so let's see. That was my computer will cooperate here. Okay, so now we come back east still, a little bit further in. We're in New York here. One if by land, two if by sea, New York City. One if by land, two if by sea has all the makings of a perfect evening. Gold chandeliers, fireside tables, upper crust cuisine, and about 20 ghosts. If one or two wasn't enough for you, then there you go. The spirits are reportedly more playful than malicious. Well, that's good to know. Paranormal activities are classic phantom pranks like flickering lights, tilting picture frames, and moving plates. Some of the most famous apparitions guests have claimed to see include a woman dressed in black. Well, there's a different change of pace. Now we have a whole new color there. Who walks down the staircase, and a Ziegfeld Follies girl. Other people claim that Aaron Burr haunts the restaurant. It was his carriage house back in the day, after all. Sadly, there are no reports of him performing any songs from the Hamilton soundtrack. Well, give it time. Maybe that'll happen. Not too far away, just across the border, Pine Barrens, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey originally, so this should be interesting. The heavily forested Pine Barrens spans over 1 million acres and 7 million counties in New Jersey. The area thrived during the colonial period, host to sawmills, paper mills, and other industries. People eventually abandoned the mills and surrounding villages when coal was discovered to the west in Pennsylvania, which historically you see that a lot there too. Leaving behind ghost towns. We talked about that naturally in the beginning. That's a very common site for hauntings or ghost towns. There's plenty still, I think, mostly out west. Not too many here in the east coast or down south, I don't think, but still a few. And some say a few supernatural wanderers. Now, I've heard this legend. The most popular Pine Barrens resident is without a doubt the Jersey Devil. Classic supernatural lore. It's been told many times, different ways. According to legend, the creature was born in 1735 to Deborah Leeds, her 13th child, my goodness, with leathery wings, a goat's head, and hooves. Oh, well, that's one child who probably didn't get picked on going to school. It flew up the Leeds chimney and into the Barrens, where it has reportedly been killing livestock and creeping out South Jersey residents ever since. The Sopranos fans will recognize the vast woodlands from the namesake Season 3 episode, which was anxiety-inducing in its own right. Of course it was. So, interesting. Now we go way back out west. Pittock Mansion, Portland, Oregon. Oregonian pioneers Henry and Georgiana Pittock decided to build their dream house when they reached their golden years in 1909, spurring the innovative design and construction of the Pittock Mansion. Unfortunately, the couple only got to enjoy their home for a few years before passing away, Georgiana in 1918 and Henry in 1919. The building is now a public landmark where some strange occurrences have been reported, such as the smell of roses, Georgiana's favorite bloom, filling a room with no flowers in it, and a childhood painting of Henry moving on its own, from spot to spot within the house. Clearly, death was not enough for a reason for the Pittocks to vacate their beloved home. I should say not, but it makes sense. Now we go even further way out west. The Red Onion Saloon, Skagway, Alaska. We're really going up the coast here for this one. Established in 1898 as a brothel for miners during the Klondike Gold Rush, Alaska's Red Onion Saloon had a feature that set it apart from other bordellos. It used dolls to help run its business. Okay, always a good sign. Chucky, anybody? Every day, 10 dolls would be placed on the bar downstairs, each one representing one of the ladies working in the upstairs rooms. A customer would choose one of the dolls, at which point it was laid down on the bar to indicate that the corresponding worker was occupied. When the customer came back downstairs, the doll would be returned to her sitting position to let other potential clients know she was available. Fast forward to 2023. Oh, this ought to be good. That's very, since we're currently here. And the Red Onion Saloon still operates as a bar and restaurant. Yep, the dolls are still on display. Of course they are. And offers tours of the upstairs rooms, which are preserved as a sort of makeshift brothel museum. As if licentious dolls weren't creepy enough, there were reports of Lydia, a former madam of the brothel, haunting the site, complete with cold spots and lingering smells of perfume wafting through the halls. Well, that's not terrible. That's not the worst thing we've heard today. Let's see. We have about 4 left, 5 left, something like that. Yeah, a couple more. Yeah, we'll get there. Let's see. I lost my place here. My bad. Oh, here we go. So this was an interesting one. So the next one is RMS Queen Mary, Long Beach, California. Aside from a brief stint as a warship in World War II, the RMS Queen Mary served as a luxury ocean liner from 1936 to 1967. During that time, it was the site of at least one murder, naturally, a sailor being crushed to death by a door in the engine room, and children drowning in the pool. Well, of course, you got to have that. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's just natural law of order there. The city of Long Beach purchased the ship in 1967 and turned it into a hotel, and it still serves that purpose today, although the reported ghosts of the deceased passengers get to stay for free. I would think so. For an extra dose of spine-tingling experiences, see if you can visit the ship's engine room, which is considered by many to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Well, maybe. As long as I'm guaranteed to walk back in one piece, I think I would try it, so, okay. Now we go back down to south, and we hit the great state of Texas, San Fernando Cathedral, San Antonio, Texas. I've heard of this spot. The oldest church in Texas holds El Mariachi Mass on Sunday and is a stunning example of Gothic revival architecture. But come nightfall, you'd have to be something of a daredevil to enter its myth-ridden grounds. When construction workers started renovating the church in 1936, they unearthed bones, nails, and tattered military uniforms near the altar. Well, of course they did. Which some believe belonged to 3 soldiers of the Alamo. Since the disturbing incidents, visitors have reported shadowy figures and orbs in their photographs, as well as ghosts in the back of the church itself. Such otherworldly inhabitants include a man dressed in black and figures in hooded monk-like clothing. Well, of course, you've got to have a few of those. I mean, why wouldn't you? Now we head back on New England. Sheffield Island Lighthouse, Norwalk, Connecticut. Built in 1868 to help ships reach Connecticut Sheffield Island, a 45-minute ferry ride from South Norwalk. This 10-room Victorian-style lighthouse has a bit of a troubled past. In 1972, the lighthouse's original keeper died suddenly while watching passing ships with a spyglass. His death was never fully explained. Then, in 1991, an archaeologist working on historic site preservation reported several mysterious happenings, including mystical music coming from the shores, distant cries for help, and the sound of a foghorn, despite there being no foghorn on the island. Many believe the sounds were the work of the ghost of Captain Robert Sheffield, who originally purchased the islands in the early 1800s, and apparently had a knack for weird musical instruments. Well, they're asked and answered, explained to you. So, traveling back out west, kind of towards Big Hoss's neck of the woods, the Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. The Stanley Hotel's stately Georgian architecture and world-renowned whiskey bar have lured travelers to Estes Park since the hotel opened in 1909. But the Stanley reached new levels of fame after inspiring Stephen King's fictional overlook hotel from The Shining. Ah, that's why that looks familiar. I'm looking at the photo here. It makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So that makes sense there. Sorry, we're having a lot of things going on here. Okay. That eerie association aside, many other ghost sightings and mysterious piano music have been connected to the hotel. The Stanley Hotel leans into its reputation quite cleverly, offering nightly ghost tours and psychic consultations from the in-house Madame Vera. Okay, I'll have to look into that further. St. Augustine Lighthouse, Florida. Now, I've been to St. Augustine, Florida. This is kind of neat. I've never had a chance to visit. Maybe I'll get a chance to go back down. But let's see about this. This is kind of neat. The St. Augustine Lighthouse is visited by nearly 225,000 people annually, but it is just as well known for its otherworldly visitors. Several tragic events, this is always a traditional story, is it not? Occurred at the now historic site that have contributed to the alleged paranormal activity. One of the first was when the lighthouse keeper fell to his death while painting the tower. His ghost has since been spotted watching over the grounds. Another event was the horrific death of 3 young girls, who drowned when the cart they were playing in broke and fell into the ocean. Today, visitors claim to hear the sounds of children playing in and around the lighthouse. Well, there you go. That's not shocker there. Let's see how many. I think we have about 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, let's see, 4. I think 1, 2, 3. We have 4 left. Let's get through these last 4, then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts here. I want to get through, since we're so close. Here we go. So next we head to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Weston, West Virginia. Another asylum. Here we go. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, say that 5 times fast, I dare you, opened its doors to patients in 1864, and in the 1950s, the West Virginian faculty reached its peak, housing more than 2,400 patients. Even though it was designed to hold only 250, the severe overcrowding led to inhumane conditions like lack of heat and convalescent people kept in cages. That's usually a common theme with insane asylums, apparently. And patients started acting increasingly violent. from starting fires to attacking staff members. That's a classic for a lot of movies I've heard of. The asylum finally closed in 1994, but the souls of some patients are said to linger, of course. Vengeful spirits and such. We head back out west to Whaley House, San Diego, California. Thomas Whaley built this family estate in 1857 in San Diego, on the former site of the city's first public gallows. Well, that's always a good sign. Shortly after he moved in, he reported hearing the heavy footsteps of, quote-unquote, Yankee Jim Robinson, a drifter and thief who was hanged on the site 4 years before the house was built. Whaley's family history ended up being filled with tragic deaths and suicides, many of which occurred inside the home itself. Some of the family members reportedly still haunt the landmark, often accompanied by cigar smoke and the smell of heavy perfume. Well then. Staying in California, Winchester Mystery House in San Jose. The Winchester Mystery House might be one of the most disturbing construction projects in history. Following the death of her husband and child, Sarah Winchester, the wife of a rifle maker's son, was informed by a seer that her family was killed by the ghosts of gunshot victims. Well, that's a tale waiting to be told. To keep away the vengeful spirits, she commissioned the Victorian fun house turned macabre dwelling that you see today. Some of the creepier features include staircases that lead directly into the ceiling, doors that open onto brick walls, and windows that can take you to secret passages. Now, how that helps, I don't know, but I guess you find some level of comfort. Maybe if I ever build a haunted mansion and I live that way to my retirement golden years, I'll understand, but who knows? So, if you do that already, let me know, but I'm curious to hear that. Last but certainly not least on this list, and we'll head back to the East Coast, the Bowery Hotel, New York City. This iconic hotel on Manhattan's Lower East Side is out of New York's Gilded Age with opulent decor and charming, albeit sometimes creepy, oil paintings throughout the property. But if you're feeling an otherworldly presence when you check in, that may be due to the poltergeists that allegedly make the Bowery Hotel their home. Some say that the elevators go haywire every night at 1 in the morning, thanks to those spooky spectators. Well, that's interesting. There you go. That's a fun list. I would love to do more research on that. We could probably explore some others. I know there's some that I have heard of that were not featured on this list. So we'll definitely maybe do some more of that as we get closer to Halloween. But hopefully that gives you guys some idea for some travel plans. If you are planning to do so, please let us know. Love to hear that. So with that being said, let's go down. I'm trying to think where I left off. Did I actually use up all of our... No, because I didn't play that other commercial, did I? No, it was right here, I think. No, wait, hold on. All over the place tonight here. Nope, that's too far. We played... That's what we played. Okay, yeah, there we go. Got it. Alright, let's play one more set of break here. Then we'll come back. We'll wrap up with some final thoughts to give off your Saturday evening. I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour there. Hopefully you learned something new. Probably some of these are not too unfamiliar to you. We might have missed some. We'll do some more research. Again, let us know. We'd love to hear about... looks like we have some chats here. Oh, it's from our good friends at Ragnarok Inc. To keep the ghost from hiding, she kept building appearance that ghosts. Oh, wow. Look at that. Nicely done. Let's see. If I could spell here. That's awesome. Always glad to hear. We'll give a shout out to our partners at Ragnarok Radio Inc. Mr. J's show is going on tonight. Check it out, the Sanitarium show. We love having them there. We're looking forward to it. You're listening to us, brother. We're going to get you on here. We have yet, let's see, we do typically, actually, we are actually, let's see, did I not, my software is running slow, spook-tacular, let's see, hang on. Yes, we love it very much. Thank you for checking and listening there. Again, it's nice to have you back on the air. We missed you guys there. Definitely gonna check out that show. We did forward it along to everybody, so if you are interested, check that out as well. Got to give it a listen. It's been great. It's been far too long, and glad to have you guys back there. Check it out. Sanitarium Show, Ragnarok Radio Inc., proud partnership with us here at J&J Production Studios, the What's Up Bro podcast show. We all wash each other. One hand washes the other here, and yes, of course, anytime. We appreciate that, Mr. J, helping us out quite a bit. One of the producers for our show, definitely our mentor there for that. We love having you guys back there, and it's always nice. As do we. We're chatting live here. That's great to have that. No, we really do as well, and we try to be a great supporter. Even during the time when they were off for a break, we try to plug that there because we all succeed together. We've shared that before, so if you guys want some really fun entertainment, their show is really, really crazy and chaotic, kind of like ours, in a manner of speaking. I don't know if we can touch that. We might not be as funny and entertaining, but we do try our best to keep up with that. They set the bar kind of high, so we try not to disappoint. We try to live up to that same standard. So check it out, though. Spreaker.com, anywhere you can find them. The Sanitarium Show from Ragnarok Radio Inc. Check it out. We'll have them on the show. Unfortunately, we are coming to the close for the evening, so if you guys want to hear Mr. J on the show, we'll be back live next weekend. We'll pencil that in, and hopefully we'll try to do it. If we're not overlapping with the show, we will definitely get him on there. We'd love to have. We've been dying to do this since last year, and it just schedules did not align. So you guys are listening out there, Mr. J. We'll love to have you come on, join us. We'll make some contact with you beforehand. We'll have you as a special guest here on the show. If you really want to as well, you can even jump in. Either way, that's fine. We'll do something for that. A special treat for you guys. So make sure you tune in for that coming up again soon. Isn't it for all of us here? He's great. Let's see. Let's take a break, you guys, real quick. Some final thought, and we'll come back and end for the evening. Let's pause our fire here. It's going to be going out soon anyway. If I click the right window, there it is. Stay tuned. Coming back to wrap up for our Saturday night and send you off on the right chance for the weekend. Thank you guys so much for being here. We love and appreciate you all so much. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for this last short break, and then we'll say our final thoughts as we bid farewell to our evening. Stick around for more. Don't go away.
Hey there, do you love podcasts? Are you having difficulty finding the right ones to listen to? Is it frustrating when you're trying to pick that show? You know, the one where everyone must collectively agree on? Like finding a good movie or TV show to watch, do you look for the most jam-packed entertainment that's possible to find in a single episode every week? Then search no more, and welcome to J&J Production Studios. It's our business to provide the best entertainment and information available for you. Whether you're sitting in that comfy chair with your favorite snack and beverage listening live each week, or downloading your favorite show episodes to take with you on the go while you're at work, exercising, or even just to play at night for you to fall asleep to. There's something for everyone, no matter what size, shape, or age you are. Visit www.linktree.com/J_J Production Studios to find all the streaming services where our podcast shows can be found. You can also connect with us on your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter. You can join our public Discord server and chat directly with us. But wait, there's more. You can subscribe to our official YouTube channel and be notified every time a new show is broadcast. Wish you could have some studio souvenirs or collectibles? Guess what? You can. Visit the official store where you can purchase items featuring your favorite podcast and show hosts. Would you like to help support us? You can do that by getting your very own exclusive membership on our Patreon account. All proceeds go to help us upgrade our shows, which will only enhance the entertainment provided to you. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you as an audience. Your love and support are always appreciated. We'll see you soon.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. Break time is over. We're so glad you stayed tuned. Now back to the action as the show is set to resume.
Thanks so much for hanging out, you guys. Welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, welcome. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show, brought to you by the one and only J&J Production Studios, your one true home for entertainment. It's now our time to have our final thoughts and to say goodbye for the evening. I know, very, very sad. But fear not, if you missed the beginning part of the episode, you can go back. It'll be up available for you guys to download and listen at your own convenience. Check it out. We had our spook-tacular tour, taking some shots and looking around at some of the most haunted locations in the U.S. We're going to probably do more of that. I know there's some other places that were not mentioned on this list, but we'll continue to do more research for that for you guys. Plenty of time left for the spooktacular season that we have going on. And very special late arrival coming in. We're looking forward to it. But our good friend and mentor and one of our producers for the show, Mr. J, checking in. So nice to have them back on Ragnarok Radio, Inc., the Sanitarium Show. Check it out. Plenty of stuff there. Like us, on proud partnership with Spreaker.com. We are proud comrades of Ragnarok Radio. A lot of you guys are probably Ragnarokers. Love having you here. We are looking forward to having Mr. J join us next weekend on the show. Maybe one or two, both nights. We'll see. We'll talk to him during the week. Really, really excited. If you guys are longtime listeners, you know we've been trying to have Mr. J on the show. We had a plan to do that back last summer. In fact, actually, as we first got started. It didn't pan out, and they had been busy, and then of course after the holidays he'd been busy too with working and everything. So we were been wanting to do that, and hopefully we will do that for you guys next weekend. So stay tuned. A bonus surprise guest there. We'll keep you guys posted throughout the week. Hopefully we'll do that. It's going to be amazing. We've been chomping at the bit, and we've been downright really waiting for this to happen. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. It's going to be amazing, as well as some more great content we got coming out for you guys this week as well. And, of course, we want to give our best wishes to Big Hoss that he feels better soon. Of course, he always gives his best message for us. And please don't drink and drive if you're out partying this weekend. Be responsible and be safe, most importantly. Also, of course, for my benefit, please be happy, be healthy, and be safe. Everybody's getting sick. Unfortunately, Big Hoss has been ill again, but he will be back once he feels better. So please take care of yourselves. Be gracious and kind to one another when you do that, so that we stay as healthy as we can for our fellow man. Don't go out if you know you are sick. That's going to do it for us here, you guys, tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to being back soon for more at the studio here with you guys. Same great entertainment, same great crazy wacky guys as always. Until now, and goodbye as always, we say. Until next time, it is goodbye just for now. Until the next time when we see you at the show, have a wonderful evening, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again very, very soon. Good night, one and all.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.